Yes, so back to the topic of men and what kind of men you should be looking for. So last week or so, I put on a video about what kind of men women should look for and men should look for. And that has to do with, them being loyal, having integrity, and a strong character and all of that. And I had a call from a friend, Shauna. Shout out to Shauna. Love you, girl. And she had me see a point which I have seen, or understood in the past, but I just want to make some clarifications. And I appreciate her calling me to talk to me about it, the love she has for me to express her feelings and to enlighten me in maybe places where I've gone awry or misunderstood, that kind of thing. So one of the things she said was, a lot of females are looking for the perfect man, and there is no such thing, or a woman or a man looking for the perfect female, and there's no such thing. And I understand that because we are human and we have faults, we have flaws. So it's really not idealistic to look for the perfect someone. And I'm not gonna lie, I do have that issue where I'm looking for that perfect someone. And it has to do with watching too many romances. Well, not really romances, but watching movies about love and men who are like just perfect and they do the right thing, and then the females are just like swooned, and that really shapes how you think, and just the way society or television or books idolize the whole character of Prince Charming, right? And I think that's what has gotten me into thinking like I have to find the perfect one. And but I want to explain how I'm not really realistically thinking that there is a perfect individual out there. What I mean to say is there are certain traits that a person should have that I should not have to build on. There are certain things that cannot be taught by another individual, that has to be innate in you, that has to be cultivated since young, right? So a lot of women do marry people and think that they can change them. I am not under the illusion that I can change anyone. I know only God can change people. You cannot make a person a hard worker if they're not innately a hard worker. You cannot make a person love God if they don't really want to be around him, want to hear about him, and they've never had the desire to be a religious individual. There's certain things you cannot make someone do, right? You cannot make someone love education if they don't really care. So when I talk about finding the one, I'm trying to speak of finding the one that's right for me. Certain things that I like and that I desire for, I expect the person to already have. That does not put aside the fact that we will be growing together. There are certain things that we both will not have, and we will complement each other and help each other acquire those things. For example, right, I think of Obama. Obama was just not president, he was a lawyer, he became a senator, and then he became president. And during the course of his career, Michelle found him when he was, I think they were in college together, right? So he was already in tune with the whole education thing. He was desirous for, higher states in life. Like he wanted to progress. He sought after progress. He was into school. He was into politics, all of that. Like the vision that they had together, I'm sure, was along the same line, if you could see what I'm saying, right? So they were both lawyers, they were both educated, and in the long run, their views of life would have changed somehow, some way, and then but together they decided that they're going to do such and such, right? So he went into politics, he became a senator, and then together they did whatever they had to do to help him to become a president. So I have no problem with finding a man whom I can push to become better. But what I'm saying is that I should be pushing him to become better, not good, right? Better than what he already is, which stipulates that he already is something that is good, right? And we are improving on what he already has. So I don't agree with finding someone who doesn't have the desire for something and forcing it into him or having him want to do it because of me, because that's not going to happen. No one changes for another person. A person will change for themselves. Only God can instill change in someone. And that's what makes relationships hard, is when you say, I'm going to find this person and I'm going to change him. And I know that's probably not what Shauna is talking about, how, having you change someone. And I know she might not think, I can change people, but that growth that she speaks of, I'm so for it. Like, let us find someone that we think we can work with, right? So, and I do have high standards, and there are females out there who have high standards, and there are people who do not have high standards. So, and there are people with low standards, and we know this. And I don't think there's any wrong problem with a person with, low standards, medium standards, high standards. If I have high standards, I will find a high standard man. If you have medium standards, you will find a medium standard man. If you have low standard, you will find a low standard man. There is a person with each kind of standard. I don't think that I should lower my standard, or anyone else should increase their standard, right? Because then we will not be compatible. Do you understand? So I feel like there is someone out there for everyone. Right? There are people who, who are okay with not working. They don't like to work. They don't like, I'm a kind of person, I don't like to work either. Like, honestly, there's this young man in my church, and I totally agree with him. He says it's not, you shouldn't work harder, you should work smarter. And I'm all for that, because I love to conserve energy. I mean, I'm a high-spirited person when I need to be, but I spend energy in the things that I like, not in the things that I don't prefer, right? So it's like I would have to go out today, and I'm like, okay, if I go out, I'm going to do A, B, and C, right? And if that's not done, when I come back home, I'm not going out again. That it's not, I'm like not a Energizer Bunny type of person, even though some people might think I am. But, I don't like working hard. So if a person is like a workaholic, that might be a problem for me. Because I'm like, dude, I don't want to do all of that. Like my aunt, sometimes we don't see eye to eye because she's like doing this and doing this. And okay, so she'll start a work at home and she won't stop to eat. She won't stop to do anything until the work is done. I'm not like that. Are you kidding me? Please, I need my breaks. Let me take a 15 and then I'll continue, right? So it's like, if you can't find someone who has certain compatibilities with you, and you see eye to eye in a lot of things, there will be a lot of strain. And that's what I'm speaking about. It's like, if I'm going to be exhausted and exasperated over how a person is innately, it's not going to work. And I'm going to be grievous. It's going to be like pulling teeth for me to live with that individual. I don't want to live that life. I don't want to live my life thinking this person is going to change when they have no desire to. I don't want someone who, let's, for example, I'm very affectionate, I'm very lovey-dovey, and then dude, if you're not going to hold my hand, don't come near me, because listen, there's certain things that I want in a relationship that if I don't get, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. So then why would I subject myself to someone who's not compatible with me, knowing something is going to be wrong in this relationship and still going with it? I feel we can grow together, but we have to grow from a certain place, right? You can't be here and then I'm here. As we grow, we're gonna grow, but there'll still be a huge gap between us. Let us be here or here or here, right? But not this far. That's a lot to grow. That's too much sometimes, right? So we have to be very careful. I will never ask anyone to lower their standards, right? I will never ask someone either to have so much illusions in their minds that you're going to find someone who's absolutely what you're looking for. And I think that's what Shauna wants me to realize. There's never going to be that perfect someone out there, ever. Because I'm not perfect. How can I not be perfect and expect my spouse to be perfect? That's not possible. I have things in me that needs to be changed, and he has to help me change them. And he will have some things in him that needs to be changed, and I will help him to change them. But those things have to be things where they're changeable, if that's a thing, right? And where we're willing to change. For example, I'm spiritual, but I don't necessarily always I'm not a prayer type, honestly. I said it, it's true. They have prayer meeting at church. I don't really want to be there. I will be in praise worship. I will do Bible study. Like, I love Bible study because I love knowledge. I will do Sabbath school. I will preach. I will sing. But prayer, it's not that thing for me. Like, it's just too mundane. It's just too, right? But I'm a spiritual person. So if I find a man who loves to pray and who will incite it in me, and I'm like, who's helping me, right? But I'm already almost there, y'all. I mean, I got the music. I have the Bible. I have the sermons. I have the spirituality and the character and wanting to be pure. It's just that prayer business. Like, yo, I need help with that, y'all. So he's going to help me complete that 10th thing that I'm missing. Do you understand? Right? And let's say he doesn't have, maybe he doesn't have the Bible thing. Like, he can't read his, like, he just doesn't have the discipline to read his Bible or do his lesson, right? But I am not going to go with a man who doesn't like to go to church, who doesn't like gospel music, like, who doesn't like being pure and like holy, like, want sex before marriage. Like, come on, like, hello, there's no way. You understand? So I feel like you're not looking for perfect. You're looking for someone who's almost there, but needs a little help getting to that level where they want to be with God. And I feel like God wants that for us. He wants us to find someone, right, who's almost there and who needs help getting all the way there, right? So we're not looking for Mr. Perfect. We're not looking for Mrs. Perfect or Miss Perfect. We're looking for someone who is relatively compatible, that we can work with, that we can see ourselves in, see what we like and what we don't like, but we can work with it. We can deal with the things that's not so great about them, and we can help them achieve better because they actually want to be better, but they don't have it in them to go all the way, and we're going to be there to push them along the way. And so I think Shauna and everyone else who had a comment, she called me, so I was able to converse with her and see her point of view and kind of alter and rethink the way that I think, and I'm now able to verbalize it and express it in the way that I do. And honestly, I had to change my view a bit because, like, at first it was like, yeah, he got to be almost perfect. Like, that thing that, like, but there's no perfect one. There's never going to be a perfect one. But there will be someone that's right for you because God has set him aside for you. And if God set him aside for you, you will find him. Like, listen, I will wait for him, and you will wait for her, and you will wait for him, whoever that perfect someone is, until you find them, right? Don't lower your standards, right? Don't go so low, at least so low, that you will be so miserable, right? And you won't be living. You won't, and then it will send you to hell, honestly, because your spouse can make and break you. There are some people having a horrible time in life, right? Life is hard enough than to have someone there 24/7. Like, you can't get rid of this person, y'all. It's for life. Till death do you part. Are you crazy? Like, listen, you better pick the right one. Life eternal depends on this one. So either you stay by yourself or you make the right choice, right? So let us pray that God allows us to find the one, help us to help that one in whatever capacity that we can, but not trying to change them to fit our mold, but change them if we can, if they allow us to